What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. This is a video I didn't really think I would be doing, but I thought I would do it because part of my pages were recommending it and they wanted to get more of a review of Far Cry 3 Classic Edition before it drops as a standalone, I believe on June 29th. Don't hold me to that, but they said they would drop it about a month after they released the early access version for Season Pass holders. Now, I've been pretty much playing the game nonstop since it came out for Season Pass holders, and I've been a huge Far Cry 3 fan pretty much ever since 2012, ever since it came out. And I also, just to add to it, I plan on getting Jason Brody's left sleeve done on my forearm as well. I very much love, I think this is one of Ubisoft's masterpieces that they made. And in this video, though, I am going to be talking about the pros and cons of this Classic Edition, because there are things they did tweak that I believe other people wouldn't think they would, and a lot of other channels were making the impression that they weren't changing anything. And to a lot of reasons, yes, they didn't change too much, but they did tweak some things, and I just want to talk about that real quick. So right off the bat, I do want to say this is a single player only game. They did not add the multiplayer or the co-op. I wanted to get that across. Some of my live streams were asking about it, and there are no multiplayer co-op. So I know it's a little bit depressing, but I mean, compared to games like The Last of Us, that game didn't even need a multiplayer, but they felt the need to add it. I don't know why it's not in this version. I guess they wanted more focus on Far Cry 5, and this is just for lovers of Far Cry 3, so it didn't hurt me too bad. It's a little upsetting, but it's nothing too crazy. So, on the other side of that, I wanted to talk about what the Classic Edition includes before I get into the pros and cons. So, the Classic Edition will include Jason Brody's right sleeve, which is originally a Uplay pre-order item, I believe, and like some of my PC copies actually have that in the Uplay store, but you automatically get it in this. So just to add a little bit more to your first person perspective when you're driving cars or using guns, you'll see his right sleeve, and it adds to it, and it's really cool. Now, other things like the Shadow, which is a silenced 1911, a lot of fans love, and I've seen a lot of YouTube channels like comment sections saying how do you get this gun and all this kind of stuff, but you automatically get it in the Classic Edition. And any DLC that the game originally had is in this game. The Herc missions, any DLC weapons, for instance like the Shadow, any of that is automatically in the game. The only one that you have to get separately is the revolver, the ACOG revolver. It is in the Uplay store for about 40 Uplay points, but that's nothing too bad. So you automatically get any DLC. They added one more melee weapon that I never saw in any of the other copies, and keep in mind I've had at least around 10 to 12 copies of this game, and it's the knife you see me using right now, and it's called the Tribe Knife. And if you guys have had it before, feel free to let me know. I never saw it, so I'm not saying it's brand new. I'm assuming they planned on having it, they just never added it until now. But I thought it was a neat little addition, and I like it. It's really cool in my opinion. And on the outside of that, we're going to talk about kind of the pros and cons of this Classic Edition. And don't get me wrong, I don't like to bash this game at all. I actually hate to bash this game, but I know it has its issues and stuff. So, pros, it looks even more beautiful than it did. And that might be just the higher resolution going to next gen, but I believe they did tweak the graphics a tiny bit and made it a little bit more colorful. And I personally really like it. I think it's a nice touch. The ragdoll effects are still amazing, but so the pros, they're pretty much as they were before. If you watch any other reviewer who talks about the game, there's not too much to change. I mean, it's all amazing. I really love it, but the cons, there are cons. And that's just for this Classic Edition by itself. And this is specifically for the people who are curious if they're changing anything before they go and buy another copy. And I'm not against it. If you want my straight answer, I believe 100% that you should get this game, especially if you've never played it before. But if you have, I still recommend it if you're a huge fan of Far Cry 3. I think it's worth its price tag. I believe it's $30 or $40 going to be as a standalone. But cons, things they changed, and not sure why. And the main thing is the gun sounds. Now, most of them, like the shotguns and snipers, they all sound the same. But specifically for like the AK-47 and the STG and some of the LMGs, they all have this minigun noise. And maybe for the LMGs it's not that bad, but for me I noticed it right off the bat, and I feel like I'm allowed to notice it the amount of times I've played the game. And it's just this crazy minigun noise, and I'm not quite sure why they chose it. I mean, I guess they have their reasons, or maybe an audio file got messed up. But the AK-47 and the STG and pretty much all of the assault rifles have this minigun noise. The LMGs have it as well. LMGs that are originally supposed to have a slower rate of fire sound don't have that anymore. I'm not sure why they changed that. I don't think it was a smart decision. I think it honestly kind of takes away from my experience, because I love the original sound of the AK. And it's a small gripe, but I feel like I'm just not quite sure why they did it, if it was intentional or not. As far as that goes, that's about the only con I have to say for this Classic Edition, and this was meant to be just a Classic Edition review. It wasn't really meant to be anything different, like me talking about the story or the characters or anything like that. The game is still the masterpiece that it was back in 2012. The story is still amazing in my opinion. You have two awesome, amazing, beautiful islands to explore and search for collectibles. I'm currently doing a completionist run on my live streams, and I'm getting all the relics, all the letters of the lost, doing all the missions, all this kind of stuff. And I'm also, on the side of that, a completionist run, I'm also counting it as getting all the trophies. I'm almost done. I'm about to platinum the game as well, but that should be no surprise for me. Now, the story, like I said, it's still amazing. The characters are still so amazing, and I hate that people attack Jason Brody. I think Jason Brody is an awesome character. I would have loved to see him in another game. I really like Jason Brody. I like, honestly, all the characters. I even like Hoyt, and I know a lot of people think he's not the best character, but I feel like he didn't get a lot of screen time. Please just kill me for that, those lack of shots, and I know for a fact I missed those shots, but I'm not afraid to upload it. But you guys saw me miss like 4 or 5 shots on that guy's head, and it's really embarrassing. Some of these final scenes, you see me really mess up bad, and I mean, that's some of the crazy parts about this game. Things can go amazing and go your way exactly how you want it to, or things can go horrible and, well, yeah, not work out. And you'll see that in the final clip. So if you want my my take, and if you should get it, I 100% believe you should, especially if you're a huge fan. Now, if you played the game and you thought it was alright, you didn't really care for it, this is not going to be... It's not going to change your mind in any other way. It's still the same game back in 2012, but you have all the DLC, and hey, maybe that might add to your experience, it might not. But overall, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be live streaming throughout this week and weekend. See, I meant to jump on them and it didn't work at all. That's how the game just kind of goes against you. Look at that. Like, really? I thought it was just funny. But I'll be live streaming throughout the week and the weekend, playing Far Cry 3 and a bunch of other games. I try to stray away from a bunch of multiplayer games, but either way, guys, thank you so much. If you'd like more review videos like this, please let me know down below. I'm working also on the roleplay videos. They're coming out soon. We are just getting through E3, so I'm trying to catch up on all those games and prepare for what's to come next. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.